Hi, this is Kenneth. In this video, we're going to be talking about fear and anxiety. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the differences between them. I've been seeing a lot of patients lately with anxiety disorders, and understanding fear and anxiety will help be able to understand when I start talking about anxiety disorders, because I'm going to be doing some videos in the future in which I talk about them. I personally experienced anxiety disorders in the past and dealt with it for years, and I'm going to be sharing my story and also looking at how I treat my patients that have these conditions. So let's get into the discussion and look at the differences between fear and anxiety. Both fear and anxiety can actually be beneficial for us if they occur at the right time and in the right degree. If, for example, you want to study for an exam, it is good to have some eustress, a little bit of anxiety that will actually push you to be able to study. If a child were to encounter a snake in the open, in the field, it is important for them to be afraid of the poisonous snake, because that's going to help them take appropriate action to avoid the danger. But in anxiety disorders, the problem is that we have a situation where people experience excessive levels of fear and anxiety. And we're going to be looking at the difference in this video, like I already said. So to start, I'd like to look at some similarities between these conditions. We see that when people have fear and anxiety, that there's often an overlap between the two. They're not completely separate. Both are also emotional states that we experience. And also, both fear and anxiety are high energy, low pleasantness emotional states that we experience. If you look at the mood meter, which I have a picture of on the screen right now, you're going to see that both of them are high energy and low pleasantness. We also see that both fear and anxiety occur in anxiety disorders in excess. Now, though there's overlap, these two emotional states are quite different. In fear, we see an emotional state that is a response to an imminent threat. This imminent threat could be real or perceived, but it's a threat that the person feels is right there and they are going to be hurt by something in front of them. They're facing the threat right now. And again, it could be perceived or it could be real. Now, an example would be if you were out walking and a bear suddenly comes on the road. You're going to be frightened, and then your sympathetic nervous system would kick in. You would notice that there is a surge in autonomic arousal that is going to get your sympathetic nervous system going. Adrenaline or epinephrine is going to be released, and you will be prepared to either fight or flight, or the fight or flight response, or sometimes called the fight or flight or freeze response. That will kick in. You have a situation where your heart will start racing. Then you will start breathing faster, and your pupils will dilate and things like that, and you'll be sweating. Those kinds of things prepare you to be able to do something to avoid the danger. A biblical example of this, if you look in Luke chapter 1, the physician, Dr. Luke, who wrote the book of Luke, essentially talks about the angel Gabriel visiting Mary. There he talks about how Mary is greatly troubled, in quotes, greatly troubled, and the angel Gabriel told Mary, don't be afraid, and then continues to talk to her about how she's blessed and has found favor with God. The idea is that Mary is sitting there, and then all of a sudden an angelic being appears, and she's frightened, she's afraid. So that's how fear expresses. And when you look at anxiety, anxiety is an emotional response to a future threat. The threat is not now, the threat is something that is in the future. And people often worry about many different things. People worry about bills. People worry about if they'll get a job. People worry about how their families are going to fare, and all different things like that. In the Bible, we see in Matthew chapter 6, where Jesus is speaking to a group of poor people, and he tells them, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, about your body, what you will wear. Jesus is speaking in the future tense. Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, about your body, what you will wear. The idea is that worry, anxiety is something that you do now for a threat that is going to come tomorrow or a different day. So those are the differences between anxiety and fear, and they're important to remember as we start talking about anxiety and anxiety disorders, and really looking into how fear and anxiety they come into play in creating and being features of anxiety disorders. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and click like to support this video as well. And if you have any questions about anxiety and fear, or about anxiety disorders, please leave that in the comment and I'll be happy to help you. I'll see you in the next video.